A group of Senate Republicans is blasting a proposed deal tying border security to Ukraine aid. They say it's a smokescreen that will actually allow more migrants into the country, and they're also ripping how those talks are being handled.
I think this is dead on arrival in the House, but why isn't the House part of this negotiation? We have a Republican House.
I think the odds of a major terrorist attack in the United States are higher today than they've been any time since September 11th. This bill is not designed to fix the problem. This stinking pile of crap bill.
No mincing of words there at that lectern. Let's bring in Senator Kevin Cramer, Republican from North Dakota. Senator, thank you for your time on this Thursday morning. Your colleagues say they've been told this bill would allow up to 5,000 migrants a day into the United States. Fact check us here. Is that the case? And what do you know about this agreement that's yet to be released?
Well, to use some of the language we just listened to, that's a blatant lie. It simply does not do that. And the people that are saying so know better. What this bill does is it makes from what we know so far. I want to be clear, we have not seen the text. But what we know it does, and what's been agreed to in the negotiation, is that they're committed to building an infrastructure and policies that will actually slow down crossings at the border and eventually probably end most illegal crossings, at least from a standpoint where you can actually catch the people coming across. There'll always be those gotaways, which is another whole topic. But the $5,000 number, I'm going to try to explain it as clearly as I can, is based on first having an infrastructure, that is to say the people, the policies, and the facilities at the border that can handle up to 5,000 people a day, with the ability to turn them around quickly. In other words, expedited removal. That is something that Republicans have always wanted, the ability to move people and turn them around quickly. That's something that Donald Trump was able to do because of Title 42, because of COVID. That Title 42 is no longer in effect. So this really makes a permanent Title 42, but you have to have the infrastructure in place. The $5,000 number is how many they can turn around. And if you get beyond the 5,000 number, so you can't deal with 5,000 a day, the border closes automatically, mandatory. So
and Senator,
that's not true at all.
Explain to me then, and to the American people watching from home, where's the disconnect here, where even Republicans are saying, you know, what Senator Cruz said is not true.
Sure.
What's the infighting about? What's the disconnect? Sure, and how do you explain that to Americans who don't know what to make of it themselves? Who do we believe?
Well, so it's a great point. And part of the problem is this has not been the normal committee process. This has been a negotiated process because it's had to be. And it's negotiated because some people want what's behind door number one, others want what's behind door number two. They're negotiating what's behind door number three because you can't get 60 votes in the United States Senate unless you get Republicans and Democrats on board. I think what you're hearing is some of that frustration with not being in the room during the negotiations. Mm-hmm. So I think they're angling, positioning, rightfully so, for a longer public process. Now, that said, our lead negotiator, James Lankford, has reached out to every single one of us on a regular basis individually, as well as bringing regular reports to the conference. There's nobody that should be ignorant about the progress that's been made. And this is progress that'll never be made in a different scenario than divided government, because again, some people want Ukraine aid, some people want Israel aid, some people want aid for Taiwan, and other people want border security. The problem is, no Democrats want border security. The president doesn't want it. So in order for us to have a bipartisan deal, you have to negotiate. And I think some people are frustrated by that. The other thing—
Are you a proponent of separating the two?
So great question, because therein, I think, lies part of the problem. If we separated the two or the three or all four of them, they'd all probably pass if they all had a vote on the floor of the Senate. So having a comprehensive package where we are negotiating terms actually allows us to I think, trim the package, make it more palatable. The problem is not enough people are coming on shows like yours and explaining the details of this. The other thing, quite honestly, I think a lot of the angst right now is coming from Republicans who don't want to support Ukraine. They're not Reagan Republicans. They don't understand the history of the Cold War and our geopolitical obligations. And so because of that, they're frustrated now that the Ukraine aid that the Democrats want has become, if you will, really leverage for James Langford to get a good package for the border, which we won't get when we lose that leverage. So again, it's not ideal, but it's pretty darn good, and we'll have to see the final package.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.